Hi, Assalamualaikum. Greetings from my supervisor, Dr. Johanna, and my panel is Dr. Aslina. My name is Nur Arisha Akmal binti Karunizam, so I will present about my final year project 1. The title is The Acceptance of MBA Open and Distance Learning Among Lifelong Learners. Firstly, I will present about my background of study. What is ODL? ODL is an open and distance learning, refer to the provisions of flexible educational opportunities in terms of access and multiple modes of knowledge acquisition. Flexible means the availability of choices for education that can be anywhere, anytime and anyhow. In this table, I will explain about the graduate statistic 2021. We can see here in 2021, the graduates in Malaysia become increases, which is 5.61 million persons. So we have types of graduate, which is employed and unemployed. It's also become increase, which is 4.77 million percent. Next, I will explain about this figure, which is global growth in open and distance learnings. So as we can see here, in 2021, it is the highest students enrolled in online course, which is 92 million in 2021. So this gains reflect the expanding global acceptability of online educations, including increase in remote learners enrolled in higher education course from vulnerable and rural regions. Next, problem statement. First one is lack face-to-face interactions. This is the biggest challenge of open and distance learning because typically delivered by ODL is online, video lectures and online modules. Some of the factor is students may be located all over the world and this is become difficult to them to meet in person, even in online. Second one, the problem is online learning failed to produce a desirable outcome due to limited access to the internet as well as technical and financial issues. The next problem is variety of mental health issues such as suicidal thought and post-traumatic stress disorder from Copeland 2021. This is because ODL is not for the full-time student only, but we have working adults. So the working adult maybe they have their own jobs and commitment at home. For example, they have the children. So maybe they can adapt the ODL modes. Next slide is research questions. RQ1, what are the factors that lead to the acceptance of MBA open and distance learning mode among lifelong learners? RQ2, to what extent do these factors lead to acceptance of MBA open and distance learning mode among lifelong learners? RQ3, what are the challenges of MBA open distance learning mode among lifelong learners? Research objective. RO1, to identify the factors that lead to the acceptance of MBA open and distance learning mode among lifelong learners. Next, RO2, to analyze how can extend these factors lead to the acceptance of MBA open and distance learning mode among lifelong learners. RO3, to investigate the challenges of MBA open and distance learning mode among lifelong learners. Next, contribution of research in academy is invest to university and colleges to gain more profits. Researchers find that ODL of MBA can earn much money than a degree student. This is because MBA must pay 100% of the fee. Different with the degree student, public university get the opportunity from government, so they can get the subsidy. But MBA is a difference. So researchers find the ODL mode for MBA students is more profitable and can gain more profit for their university. Contributions of research in practical is students can be more flexible in times and place. Next, working adult can further study even have their own job. Lifelong learners is a basic element continue creativity learning how to learn by their own self. But they must discipline their own self or give commitments to this study. Next, I will present about the literature review. First one, behavioral intention to use ODLs is the desire of interest to do specific behavior, which means someone's willingness to perform the behavior, from Prof. Dr. Anis Iliana 2022. Next, performance expectancy, believe that the use of particular technology will be advantage performance enhancing to the individuals, Cohen 2013. Effort expectancy is the degree of its educate with the use of e-learning system. The respect to is that in how an individual feel either use technology in easy way and how much strength of is there in usage of technology. From Andrews 2021, Escobar 2014. Social influence is the degree to which an individual thinks how significant is it other feel or admin that should utilize the new system. The degree to which people, family, friends and others feel either positive or negative will encourage someone to adopt the new system is known as social influence. From Mubina Lako 2019 and Al-Raja 2016. Facilitating conditions is believed that an organization and technical infrastructure exists to support the system is referred to as facilitating conditions. Consumer perspective on the resource and assistance available to undertake an activity are defined as facilitating conditions. Al-Raja 2016 and Hafiz Fazli 2018. Lastly, perceived fees defined as the subjective customer perceptions towards the objective fee of the product and service. From Setiawan and Archa 2013. Next is underpinning theory, which is Utaud framework theory that researchers have used from Venkatesh 2003. There are 4 main variables, which is performance expectancy, effort expectancy, social influence and facilitating conditions. So PE denotes the user believe that using the technology will help them perform their job better. EE denotes the degree of ease that is user associates with the technology. SI denotes how the user perceive that others who are important to them. And they believe that should the technology, finally SI donates the how user perceive that others who are important to them. And lastly, they believe they should use the technology. FC is a skill that encompass participate, believe that training, support infrastructure and background knowledge are available to use in the system. Theoretical frameworks is the researcher have adding some variables in these frameworks. In this figure, I adding the perceived fee become the extended Utaud. Next slide is research design methods. I will explain the first column, research design methods, which is descriptive research and quantitative research are both employed in this study to analyze the research questions. Next is research strategy. Use a quantitative method to collect data through a questionnaire survey to study the behavioral intentions using ODL mode. Next column is scientific canon. To improve the validity and reliability of the questionnaire, at least 30 participants who have been using ODL modes were selected for the pilot test. Next is sampling designs. Researchers use the sampling method, which is respondents from postgraduate student and working adult. Data collection methods, which is for primary data, researcher will use social media to spread the questionnaire. Secondary data, use articles and journal for the research. Next, I provide the measurements of construct from a few articles and journal that I find. So here we have dependent variable, which is behavior intention to use ODL mode among lifelong learners. Independent variable, performance expectancy, effort expectancy, social influence, facilitating conditions and perceived fee. So here from a few authors of sources of measurements. These measurements of constructs I take from other articles is only for my guideline to do the next process in FYP2. So this is a sum questionnaire that from others article. For the last slide, I attach my Gantt chart, which is my progress in week 1 until week 15 with my supervisor. So this is my progress for my final year project 1. I will end this presentation. Thank you.